Good evening, everybody. I'm super excited to kick off your first obstacle of the week, and that is dinner. We are doing this one first because I hope that you can take a step or two or a tip or two away from this and start implementing it this week if you're not following the meal plan, because it is Monday, so there's still some time to make some adjustments and implement what I am going to teach you. So as I stated in my video yesterday, I'm a mom of four. I have two 6-year-olds, a 2.5-year-old, and a 14-month-old. And my husband travels usually, it's been a little less lately, which has been nice, but usually 2 or 3 nights every 2 weeks. So he's gone pretty frequently. We live a busy life. Life is just busy at home. You know, if you have kids, like that witching hour is true from like 4 to 8 p.m. It just feels like chaos. And dinner time really started to feel, and still does some days, so this is not a cure-all, but it helps, feels like such a chore. And there are times when I feel like I'm constantly feeding them macaroni and cheese and chicken fingers, or we're having grilled cheese again, or it's the same meals, the same, same 5 meals that we're having, or, whatever. I just felt like we were getting into a rut. So I had to take a second. I sat down and I started to legit plan dinners, and I started to plan them backwards. So, that's one thing I'll mention in a little bit. When you're planning your meals, how to make sure you're getting the most creative meal for dinner. Okay, so I'm just going to make sure I mention that in a minute. Meal plan first. Okay, so when I sit down on Sunday or Saturday, whatever one is going to work better for our schedule, I do 4 things first before I even start planning a dinner. Okay, before I even start planning or choosing a meal, I look at 4 things first. I check our social calendar. Do Matt and I have a date night? Do we have friends coming over? Do the kids have something with school? Do, like an ice cream social at 6 o'clock? Do they have T-ball, like Brooklyn had T-ball tonight? Is there an event that we need to go to? Are my parents coming over for dinner? Are Matt's parents coming over for dinner? Is there something social? Are we going out with friends? Or hi Nancy, hi Wendy. Is there something social that is out of the norm for us that we're going to have to adjust our schedule? If Matt and I are going on date night, that's going to be an easy meal for the kids. I just need to make note of that, and I write that on my meal plan. So I check out my social calendar, our social calendar as a family. Check your work schedule. I work from home. I'm home, so I'm really not traveling much. Matt travels, so that's 2 and 3. If it's you, check your calendar for work. Do you have late meetings? Are you going out of town? Are you home early one day from work? Do you have vacation days coming up? Do you have a work event? Something like that. Check your work schedule. I know sometimes people have different schedules. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, they work till 2, and then Tuesday, Thursday, they're there till 6. So your dinner planning can be different on those days that you work late and that you get out early. So check your work schedule for the week each day and write anything that's out of the norm for you, or make note of the norm that your schedule varies. Like, it's not going to be the same every single day, even if you don't have kids. Like, if your work schedule varies day to day, your dinners are going to vary day to day as well. The third one, I check Matt's schedule. Is he out of town? What nights is he leaving? Does he have just any meetings or work events that he needs to attend? Because if he's not here for dinner, I don't stress about making a big meal. Like, I don't worry about it. So I mark down that Matt has a meeting. He is gone tomorrow. So I know that tomorrow's dinner is going to be something that either he doesn't prefer, and so I don't make it often, and that I like for dinner, or I'm going to just have a salad and the kids are going to have an easy meal, or we're just going to have leftovers from tonight, whatever the case may be going on the rest of the week. So I just make those notes. And then this tip, number 4, I look in the fridge or the freezer to see if we have any leftover meat from the week before that needs to get used up. So I know that we have some steak strips in the refrigerator that we will not be using this week. So I need to put those in the freezer. So next Sunday, when I sit down to plan our meals, I'm going to see that frozen steak sirloin in there, and I'm going to say, okay, this can get used. 1, I hate the clutter in the fridge or the freezer, and 2, it just saves me money. Like, I already have the meat. I don't need to spend the meat again, or I don't need to buy chicken if we can use steak stir fry instead of chicken stir fry, or steak fajitas instead of chicken fajitas, or grill the steak on the grill, or whatever the case may be. I can have steak salad in my salad instead of using chicken. So I'm aware of what's in the freezer and in the fridge, because what happens, I feel like people feel like eating healthy is hard because it's wasteful, or it's expensive because it's wasteful, when we just need to be aware. We just need to be intentional with that, because if I let that steak sit in there one more day, it is going to go bad and I am going to have to throw it away. But if I freeze it, then I can use it for next week, and I just put it on the meal plan. And you guys, 9 times out of 10, I don't have to buy meat every week. I usually only buy meat once or twice a week or a month, because we have leftovers for days, and the kids don't eat something, or Matt overbuys, or whatever the case may be. So those are my top 4 tips before I even sit down to plan. Check out your social calendar, any events, any date nights, whatever. Check your work schedule for late meetings. If you have dinner events that are out, if you're traveling overnight, how you can prepare the family. Check your spouse travel, because when your spouse is gone, you can alternate your dinner. You can do something different. You can plan accordingly. And then look in the fridge for meats, veggies that need to get used, okay? So then once I know all of that, and that is all marked on my calendar, I plan our dinners, okay? So I typically only plan 5 dinners for the week, because Saturday and Sunday are usually a shot in the dark. I don't mind sitting there saying, hey, let's go do this. Matt can quick run to the store for whatever we kind of feel like eating. Typically we go out to dinner, or we try and do an event, or we go to my parents, and my parents come over and we just do something super simple. So I'm going to walk you through like what a typical week would look like for us. So Monday, everyone's fresh. It's a good week. We haven't gotten into the chaos yet. There's usually not a hiccup. I like to cook a meal on Monday because of what I just said. Everyone's kind of free. So typically I cook on Monday, and Tuesday is a leftovers day. So on Monday, I was going to make meatloaf. I'd make enough meatloaf today so that I'm cooking tonight. I'd make enough meatloaf on Monday so that we ate meatloaf on Monday with green beans, and Tuesday we'd have the exact same thing. Okay, it's already made, it's already cooked, it's leftovers. I don't have to prep anything, but my family's getting a healthy, balanced meal that I know they're going to eat because they just ate it the night before, and it's a meal that they love. So Monday would be a cook night, Tuesday would be a leftovers night. Wednesday, I do an easy meal. And what I mean by easy meal, I mean like ground up chicken and sauteed in a pan, cut up some vegetables, sauteed in a pan. I would just eat the ground turkey, the vegetables, and add a little bit of dressing with avocado or cheese. And then for the kids, I'd make the same thing, and I would just add brown rice. So on those veggies, you guys, I'm kind of you just eat the veggies, just try them. Like, at least take 3 spoonfuls, and that's it. Like, I'm not going to sit there and 1, force them to eat the whole side of vegetables, but 2, they need to try them, they need to eat them. And my kids are getting older and they're trying more foods, and it also sets the example for our younger 2, Hayden and Lincoln, to try all of the food. Lincoln devoured asparagus the other day. Like, I loved it. So they can do that, and if they don't, then at least they have the meat and the rice. And typically I'll have like a frozen package of like a vegetable blend that I know that they'll eat. And so I'll heat that up if I'm putting, vegetables I know that they won't eat, which they love peppers, so it's usually fine. So Wednesday is an easy meal. That could also mean breakfast, where they have eggs and toast and bacon, and I have a veggie omelet, and I have my eggs and some cheese and avocado with vegetables, and that's my dinner, is an omelet. Just something super simple, super easy, like burgers or a quick taco night that I can throw in the Instant Pot, or I can just quick put some meat on the stove and have some veggies that are cut up raw right along with it and have a taco salad. Just something super simple, but again, nutritious, tasty, something everyone will eat. On taco night, I like to make the kids quesadillas if they don't want a taco. Matt and I will have taco salads, put all of the fixings on there, and the kids can have a quesadilla or a taco. It's not the end of the world, right? It's just alternating it, because I'm a big believer that they have different needs and I have different needs. I don't necessarily need carbs at night every night. My kids do. So we need to eat accordingly, and we have different taste buds and different preferences. So I'm not opposed to kind of playing into that, because I think it's important to show them that everyone has different needs, and I'm going to pay attention to yours, but I'm also going to pay attention to what I need for my health and my goals as well. So then Thursday would be a cook night again, or a kid's choice. So that can go like hand in hand. If the easy night was the kid's choice, then Thursday night I'll cook another meal. So I'll do something else like pork chops and potato wedges with roasted carrots, or I'll do I'm trying to think, like baked chicken and mashed potatoes, and then I'll only have the chicken and the veggies, and I'll just double up on the vegetables. But my kids like mashed potatoes, or steak and asparagus, or there's so many awesome recipes, which I'll get to in a second. So it's another cook night, and that night I try to make sure that I'm not making a ton of food, because I know the weekend is coming up and we typically aren't around a ton on the weekend. Like I feel like we always just have sandwiches for lunch, and then at night we usually get out of the house and get out. So Thursday would be another cook night. Ask the kids what they want. I think it's important to include them in the decision making for dinner. Friday night we either do leftovers or we go out. So if we have leftovers from the whole week, we try to eat that up on Friday night, or we go out to eat. Saturday, we either go out or we do something as a family. So we either go to my parents come over, and everyone kind of brings their own dish to pass. Something simple, or we'll do sandwiches and salads, or a sandwich and soup. We'll run to like Qdoba and do something like that and do takeout. And what that means, you guys, it doesn't mean that I'm eating off my plan when we go out to eat or we eat Qdoba. And I think that's the other thing, like, oh, we went out to eat and I just couldn't resist. No, you still have to plan ahead. Like, there are places that I love to go. Red Robin has an amazing Cobb salad that is so tasty, so good. So I have my Cobb salad, and I might have like a handful of the kids' French fries, and I'm good to go. I'm on track. Our family got out. We had a good family time. I don't feel like I overindulged. I don't feel like I, undid my hard work, but we went out and I was in control of my food. So, that is how I plan my dinners. I don't cook every single night. I think that gets exhausting. I think it's incredibly stressful. And I think there's always so much leftover food that we don't need to cook every single night. So things that I take into account, you guys, think about, like, if you have T-ball one night, you're not going to come home and cook raw chicken and raw vegetables and make mashed potatoes. So don't put that on a T-ball night or a sports night. You might want to look into the Instant Pot meatloaf, and I would make that before and start that at 3:30, 4 o'clock, so that it's ready at 5. It's cooked, it's done. I'll take it out of the Instant Pot and I'll put it in you can keep it warm in the Instant Pot if you want, but when I leave the house, I like to take it out. I'll put it in the fridge, and we'll just have to warm it up when we get home, but it's done. I'm not sitting there getting home at 7:30 going, what are we going to eat? Just now, right now, my kids are upstairs eating grilled chicken. They're having macaroni and cheese and some broccoli from last night's dinner. But they're home from T-ball. They have a good, healthy meal, and Matt's having the same thing, and I will go up and have a salad with the chicken on it. So it's all about just being aware of what your event, what your night is going to be like, and choosing meals that fit that night. Maybe it is you go out to eat on Tuesday. You know you're going out to eat every Tuesday because that's what your lifestyle is. You just have to find something that's going to fit that night, that's going to fit your goals. Okay, Wendy's has awesome food. They have a really good chili, they have baked potatoes, they have grilled chicken sandwiches. Just don't choose the French fries. Have the sandwich, but choose the super, or I'm thinking Chick-fil-A. They have like a super cal salad, or choose the fruit, or choose a side veggie, or just skip the French fries, do two grilled chicken sandwiches and just eat the chicken out of both sides or something. Like, there are alternatives. There are things to help you stay on track. Most fast food places tell you the calories. They tell you what's in it. And a lot of it is common sense. Like, skip the French fries or have a salad and a side of French fries. That's what I like to do. If I'm going to splurge or have my whatever, I just prefer having a salad and getting a medium French fry. I still feel in control. I'm not overdoing it with a juicy cheeseburger and the French fries. So being aware of what your week is bringing you helps you plan a healthier dinner. So like I said, the freezer, if you get to Friday and you're like, oh my gosh, I bought that chicken for Tuesday and we didn't use it, put it in the freezer so that you have it, so it doesn't go to waste. You can freeze vegetables, you can freeze fruit, use them for smoothies. You can freeze the meat, you know, cooked grains and stuff like that. Like, unfortunately, it is what it is, but you can be aware with that. So the other thing that I do with dinner is I plan that meal first before I plan any other meal. I'm at the point in my routine that I don't have to plan breakfast, lunch, or my snack. I eat the same thing every single day. I'm incredibly boring, but it works for me. I know what to shop for. It makes it super simple. I know that when I wake up, this is what I have to eat. Not have to, this is what I want to eat. This is what's helped me feel good and enjoy my food with hitting my 35-pound weight loss and keeping it off for 7 months. I started my weight loss journey in May 2018 post-Lincoln, and I lost 35 pounds in the first 6 months, and then I've kept that off, and I just lost another 3 pounds with this program that I just completed. So I have found a routine that works for me. I found foods that keep me interested. I keep myself engaged and excited, and I have enough variety that I love my food, but I'm not sitting here slaving over a meal plan and wasting a ton of food and spending 2 hours a week meal planning and meal prepping. Like, I'm not there anymore because I was so diligent and consistent with it before. So meal plan your dinners first. There are so many different resources that you can plan your dinners at. We like to use beachbodyondemand.com/blog because, yes, I'm Midwest, that's blog. BLOG. I'll spell that for you. It has a ton of different recipes, so if you have a free trial, if you are a member, you can log in there and get a ton of different recipes, you guys. The spaghetti squash lasagna we've mentioned, but what's cool about that is that every single recipe on that website is going to correlate with all of our different nutrition programs and fitness programs. So for the portion control containers, it will show you how many containers and what containers it equates for, and then it will also show you the To Be Mindset plate it method and what that would look like. So, you know, it's going to take some planning, it's going to take some trial and error, and you might waste some foods and you might get frustrated, but it's okay. So my plan was meatloaf tonight, but we had so much chicken left over from last night. Like, I'm not cooking tonight when there's a whole Tupperware container of cooked chicken. Like, we're going to figure out what to eat with that. And if it's a vegetable and a grain again, then so be it. But I'm not slaving over the kitchen when there's food in the refrigerator that's healthy, cooked, and ready to go, and I can just freeze the meat and use it for next week. So I hope this was extremely helpful for you guys. I hope this gives you some things to think about and implement this week. So I want you to comment below with, when it comes to dinner, number one, what is the biggest obstacle for you and your family? Maybe we can help you if I didn't cover it in here. And two, what tip are you most excited to implement? So that is checking out your social your social calendar, checking out your work schedule, your spouse schedule, checking the fridge before you plan, and then when you plan, having 2 cook nights, a leftover night, an out to eat night, and an easy meal. So that's really what I do. 2 cook nights, a leftovers, an easy meal, and 1 night out is what we typically do. So, hi baby. Hold on, I'm almost done. So, biggest obstacle as a family that's hardest for you guys to stick to, and what tip you are most excited to implement, or what was the most helpful for you. Thanks for tuning in to the first video. We look forward to having you guys watch more throughout the week, and the more you interact and comment, the more we can help you in overcoming your obstacles. So have a great night, you guys, and we will see you tomorrow.